The idea of an illusionary universe ties into deep philosophical and scientific questions about the nature of reality. There are several perspectives on this concept. Simulation hypothesis. This idea suggests that our universe is a highly advanced simulation, possibly run by an advanced civilization. Think of it like a super sophisticated video game where conscious beings us experience reality as part of the program. Quantum mechanics and observer effect. In quantum physics, particles exist in a state of probability until they are observed. Some interpretations suggest that consciousness plays a role in shaping reality, making the universe seem like an illusion in the absence of observation. Holographic principle. This theory proposes that our three-dimensional universe might be a projection from a two-dimensional surface, much like a hologram. If true, what we perceive as reality might just be encoded information on a distant cosmic boundary. Boltzmann brains and fluctuation universes. As discussed in your refined passage, the idea that random quantum fluctuations could create conscious experiences means that your entire reality could be an illusion, just a fleeting moment in an otherwise dead universe. Maya illusion. In Eastern philosophy, many Eastern philosophies, like Hinduism and Buddhism, describe the world as Maya, an illusion that prevents us from seeing the true nature of existence. Everything you believe about yourself and the universe could be an illusion. You assume you are real, living in a universe that began 14 billion years ago, giving rise to galaxies, stars, Earth, and finally, you. But what if that isn't the case? What if you don't truly exist, but are merely the dream of a dead universe? What if everything you perceive is just an illusion? To explore this mind-bending idea, we need to understand three fundamental concepts. 1. The arrow of time. What distinguishes the past from the future? Imagine dropping red ink into a glass of water. It spreads until the entire glass is tinged red, but you never see it spontaneously reassemble into a droplet. Time appears to flow in the direction in which the ink disperses. However, at the microscopic level, molecules move randomly, with no fundamental distinction between forward and backward motion. The reason we see time moving in one direction is a matter of probability. There are vastly more ways for the ink to spread than for it to reassemble. Just like buying more lottery tickets increases your chances of winning, the probability of ink molecules filling the glass is significantly higher than them converging into one spot. It is not that reformation is impossible, it is just extraordinarily unlikely. To witness it, you'd have to wait about 106 billion years, a number so vast it defies comprehension. If you had this much time to spare, eventually, by pure random chance, you'd see a red blob form again. Given enough time, you could witness any shape emerging, perhaps even a small, red, soggy brain. 2. The far future of the universe. Our universe was born 14 billion years ago in the Big Bang. It expanded and evolved to give rise to myriads of galaxies and structures. In other words, the universe is like a vast glass of water filled with ink, dispersing over time. It has an arrow of time. But the universe is not static, it is expanding at an ever-increasing rate due to dark energy. Essentially, everything in it is becoming more and more diluted. In about 100 trillion years, the last star will die. After that, for incomprehensibly long periods, decillions, vantillions, and googolls of years, very little of interest will happen. Eventually, the universe will become a dark, empty void, fully dominated by dark energy, a rapidly expanding expanse of pure space, almost devoid of matter. At first glance, this may seem like the ultimate death of everything, but dark energy has one final surprise. In a universe ruled by dark energy, space expands so dramatically that it creates a cosmic horizon, a boundary beyond which nothing, not even light, can ever reach you. For all practical purposes, the universe has become a finite glass, about 36 billion light-years wide, surrounded by an unreachable boundary. Such a universe glass is essentially a giant black hole turned inside out. We know that due to quantum effects, all black holes emit a tiny amount of particles, a phenomenon known as Hawking radiation. Similarly, our inside-out black hole of a universe will also emit radiation. In the end, this radiation will slowly repopulate the universe with particles. At this point, so far into the future that numbers lose all meaning, the universe will reach its true final state of vast, cold, empty space, yet not entirely devoid of activity. The universe has now become a closed box filled with particles at an extremely low but finite temperature. Since they have energy, these particles continue to undergo random motion. In essence, the universe has become a vast glass of water and ink, with an infinite amount of time ahead. And with infinite time, strange things are bound to happen. 3 typing monkeys and fake universes. Eternity is an unimaginably long time. Given enough time, even the most unlikely events will eventually occur. The fluctuating particles within this cosmic void endlessly collide, producing every possible combination of arrangements. Think of it like a monkey randomly typing on a typewriter. Most of the time, it produces nonsense. But given enough time, it will eventually type out the first lines of Hamlet, and with even more time, the complete works of Shakespeare or even Eminem. If the particles in our universe glass can generate any possible configuration, what could emerge as spontaneous fluctuation might give rise to a single planet, a galaxy, or even an entire universe. This raises a mind-bending possibility: what if our universe has already ended, and what we perceive as reality is actually a pop-up universe, one that didn't evolve from a Big Bang, but instead fluctuated into existence by pure chance, like the ink drop reforming? Such a universe would exist temporarily before dissolving back into randomness. Since these fluctuations are random, pop-up universes could be similar to ours, but with bizarre inconsistencies. In one, dinosaurs might ride snails. In another, stars could be made of blueberries. In yet another, you might inexplicably find yourself wearing a funny hat. Scientists within such universes would struggle to explain these anomalies. Perhaps the greatest mysteries of physics are simply glitches in a randomly generated reality. However, not all fluctuations are equally probable. Some are far more likely than others, leading to even more unsettling possibilities. Smaller fluctuations are significantly more probable than larger ones. A planet is more likely to emerge than an entire galaxy. But you know what's even more likely? A single human brain. Are you actually just a brain? You think, therefore you exist. But beyond that, what do you truly know? Your brain interprets signals from your senses, constructing the reality you experience. Technically, it's possible that you are nothing more than a disembodied brain, one that, by pure chance, emerged in a dead universe, complete with a full set of fabricated memories and knowledge. This idea is bizarre, but mathematically, it holds weight. Let us compare the number of brains inside bodies in a living universe to the number of naked brains in a dead universe. Suppose we assume that a total of 100 quadrillion humans will ever live on Earth, and that an equal number will inhabit planets around every star in the observable universe. If we add all of them together, we arrive at approximately 1041 brains that exist within bodies. However, in a dead universe that has infinite time to explore all possible fluctuations, the number of spontaneously generated, floating brains is, well, infinite. This means the probability that you are a disembodied brain is not just larger than the probability that you are a real human, it is so vastly larger that the difference is beyond meaningful quantification. How can any finite number compare to infinity? So, are you a floating brain that blinks into existence for a single moment, only for eternity to pass before you reappear again, perhaps not even in the same sequence. Maybe your life unfolds backward, and you simply don't notice. Maybe you have lived this moment trillions of times already. Are you the dream of a dead universe? Maybe. Maybe not. But the thought alone is enough to send shivers down your spine. Like, really? Wow. Probably not. First of all, there are a few loopholes. For example, dark energy could behave completely differently from what we think today, leading to an entirely different future. Or perhaps our dead universe will be too still, too motionless, to allow the spontaneous creation of brains, even with infinite time. Or maybe the universe will end in some completely unexpected way. Our understanding of the cosmos is not solid enough for anyone to seriously worry about whether they are real or not. But let's set loopholes aside. If you were a fluctuating brain, all the laws of physics stored in your mind would have emerged at random. They wouldn't necessarily align with reality. And yet, we just used those same laws to prove that you are a floating brain. Which means that even if you believe you are one, you have no logical reason to actually trust that belief. So, what does this bizarre mental exercise teach us? It reveals something interesting about our theories of the universe, how far they can be stretched, how they might unravel in extreme cases. But in the end, this is just a strange thought experiment, a glimpse into the limits of what human minds can conceive. So don't worry, you're not the dream of a dead universe. Probably.